Come over.
What's going on, guys? It is Giants week. Chance to get to the 10th win. Welcome to the Brownie postgame pregame show. As always, I got my dad on over there, but we have a special guest, a fellow Browns fan from Orlando. Most of you guys may know him from a lot of the stuff that he does on the radio, upper and local Cleveland radio. Ellis in Orlando. Ellis, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Man, it's an honor, gentlemen, to be on here with you, man, and all the Browns fandom out here. Life can't get any better than this.
Hey, we got three Browns fans from Florida, all on at the same time. That's why I got the palm trees in the back of the Brownie postgame logo. Right?
Crazy.
That's right. All right. All right. Real quick, I want to give some shout outs to some of the early people in chat. Mario G, Talking to Grubby Media. Mark Schoen's here. Xander Hernandez, Typical Gamer. Greg Smith. Jones over there on Twitch. Greg Smith. Mr. Roll Up 10. Ivsnarf over on Twitch. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Max Nikolenko's here. Streak 2426. OGC Dave Delaney. What is going on, guys? Welcome. We're going to have a fun show. We got Sunday Night Football. We got a chant. We're in New York City. Hopefully everybody's staying safe and warm. But exciting. I don't know about you guys. Dad and Ellis, I've had a busy day making a new hype. I guess it's not really a hype video. It's just a Christmas video that's live on Twitter right now. So if you guys didn't have a chance to see that yet, go over to my Twitter at Mike Killey and check it out.
Great.
New.
I just watched it. It was great.
Awesome, awesome. And all right, so let's do this. First things first, Ellis.
Yes.
Um, for tell everybody about yourself. Tell everybody about the president. Tell everybody about everything, and then
Man.
I'm gonna ask for something.
Okay.
Can we get a motivational speech?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
So what I'll do, let me just give you a little quick synopsis on how it started. Man, first of all, as a kid, I went to my very first Browns game. I'm kind of date myself. Back in the mid 60s, Leroy Kelly, Paul Warfield, Bill Nelson. Let me tell you, I went to the game and I've been hooked ever since. The Browns weren't really good, but as a kid, they were so impressionable to me, I've never turned any other direction. Then, you grew up and with the Bernie Kosar, the Bryant site, Bernie Kosar, Cleveland just went berserk. And I don't think it's been a long time since we've experienced this.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody doesn't have any idea on the fandom that goes on, the pandemonium that goes on in Cleveland when it's Browns football. I know the Cavs won a championship, but it's a football town. I'm telling you, the city went bonkers. And man, I've been a fanatic ever since. Ended up coming down here in Florida in the mid 80s. I was in radio up in Ohio. But let me tell you, just because I live in Florida doesn't mean my heart hasn't left. And let me tell you, there's so many Browns fans worldwide, but man, there's a lot of Browns backers here. And that really made me feel like I had a taste of home down here in Orlando. Met so many different people. Started doing some stuff for ESPN, Aaron Gohammer during the Golden Boys, the Cavs run. They wanted some fans to call up and do motivational speeches. So I just called up and did one. They liked it. They kept calling, and I guess the rest is history. Now, as far as this president thing, I got nominated. I really didn't think I would win because I live in Orlando. That was one of the biggest issues, but I still have family there. I'm back and forth to Cleveland all the time, and I can still do the job here in Orlando. So ended up winning. I'm blessed. I'm honored, and this is where we're at now. So
Great.
Let's make it happen.
Love it, love it. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Ellis's content, he is the motivational speaker of all motivational speakers when it comes to Cleveland Browns and getting us hyped up. Think Brownie post-game hype video, but like the person, right? So Ellis, give us the Brownie post-game. Give our audience a little bit of the motivation, how we're supposed to get hyped up, the Cleveland Browns hyped up for this Giants game.
Okay, so because we're all on the internet, just imagine yourselves, guys, at the stadium. It's packed. You're going in. You're around all your friends, and then just over the loudspeaker, pow. Guys, this is what we've all been waiting for. We're finally relevant. We've got a chance 2 weeks in a row to be on Primetime. Browns, the New York Giants. We're not going to let anybody handle our business but us. Baker, it's time to ball out. Miles, it's time to wreak havoc. It's time to put this world on notice. We're not going to just become the world's team. We're going to become the universe's team. We're no longer going to be the punchline. So now tonight, we take care of our business and do something we haven't done in a long time, which is go to the playoffs. Guys, where my dogs at? Where's Cleveland at? Cleveland till the casket drops. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm fired up. Let's go.
Ready. Does Sunday night come on? Waiting all night for Sunday night? Yeah, it's been waiting all day for Sunday night for me. That's for sure.
I know it's difficult to channel all that.
Watching all these crummy games during the day and thinking, well, it's closer to kickoff. We're getting there, but the Jets are winning now, so I hope they get their win so that they don't go winless up against us next week. They get that one out of the way. It's going to take a good effort for them to hold on in the second half, but they might do it. I'll be watching them.
That's a scary thing, though. If the Jets can beat the Rams, then they could put together a game against us. I mean, we cannot.
This game. We got to get this game under our belt.
And those are the worst type of teams to have to play. when you're desperate,
Right.
you fight different when you're desperate. Believe me, desperate times lead to desperate measures. But you know the funny part about all this, especially when you're in radio, when you're doing all this, we have a face to you guys. But when people, hear me, they just hear a voice. But it's so funny. I'll get, man, you don't look like you sound, or that could be a good or bad thing. I've got this voice has been this voice since second grade. So, but you know what, man? It is an exciting time. 2020 has been so strange, and no one could have expected this. So
Right.
why not? Why not shock the world? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. I mean, here's the deal. We realistically have to win 2 more games, right?
Yes.
We're in the 4th quarter. This is it. It comes down to, do we want it or not? I mean, we have 2 relatively soft games. It's the NFL, and any given Sunday, look, the Jets are proving it right now against a very good Rams team. Any given Sunday, anything could happen.
Yeah, not only them, but Baltimore won today very easily, and Miami won. So, I mean, we falter at all, we're going to be hurting going in against those Steelers.
Exactly. And this is what we don't want. I always hate it when we had to look at the scoreboard. Remember when we were depending on, can't remember what coach, quarterback, Sergi or whatever his name is. Hell, Ray Finkel for all I know. I don't want to depend on anybody. Let's do our own business. But guys, let me ask you a question. After Monday night's loss, how was your feeling about that game? I don't want all these accolades. Well, they played really good and they showed that they're competitive. I don't want an honorable mention trophy. I don't need a participation ribbon. I wanted to humiliate those guys, man, and we just let them off the hook.
Yeah, it took me a while to get over that game. It took me honestly till the Wednesday show, we were on the Wednesday show. We talked through it. It was almost like therapeutic to talk it out with my dad and Rustano, and it took a while. And then finally, it wasn't really till today that it's been out of my system. We have another game to focus on. Hopefully the Browns themselves and Stefanski was able to get them mentally past that loss. I think some of the silver linings of that game, and I'm not trying to say that a loss is a loss. I understand that. Stefanski's right. I mean, we don't want to celebrate a loss, but some of the silver lining was we didn't give up. We were losing that game. We fought back. And, Stefanski said, he's like, I didn't expect, when I called that wheel route for Kareem Hunt to score, I mean, that just goes to show, like, if you're any play you call as a Brown right now could go to the house. And so that's just what happened. And we got beat on a 55-yard field goal from the most accurate kicker in NFL history. And that happens, right? And our kicker missed one and missed an extra point. And these are the things when you play really good teams, it comes down to millimeters sometimes. Yeah. So, but now we now, like Ellis, what you're saying, we have to take care of our own business. We control our own destiny. This is a position that teams would love to be in, and we're in it. So we have to take care of business today. And the character of this team, we've passed almost every test.
Yes.
We passed test after test after test. And now the character of the team has to show up. And we have to say, do you guys want to make the playoffs or not? Because it basically is it's mini playoffs right now for us. We have to win this game. We have to win next week. And then we'll just see where the chips may fall against Pittsburgh. Right? So
I agree.
So yeah. So I mean, it's out of my system now. It's just like, the loss to the Ravens the first game, the Steelers loss, which is also really bad. The Raiders, which we had the bye week, so we were able to get through that. But now this is out of my system. It's washed. And I am ready to say, let's go. Let's go, New York.
Yeah. Well, one thing we've never lost, Stefanski's got us at the point where we've never lost 2 in a row, which to me, that's the first time I've ever seen a Browns team like that.
Yeah.
Normally, when we go down early, the old Browns, you might as well just say, okay, we're done. So I like how we fought back. But let me tell you this, gentlemen. We make the playoffs. When we make the playoffs, the Browns are going to be the worst type of team to have to play because we can put up points. Mm-hmm. We've got a great running game. And even if we play mediocre defense, that's going to put us in a good position. I love what Stefanski has done. I'm really excited about our future, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're in a good position. Like you said, Ellis, we're the team that they don't want to play because we have the motivation. We got nothing to lose. We're going to be as psyched as anybody to be in the playoffs to begin with, and we can put up points. Now, if our defense can show up and we can keep ourselves in the game, so we don't have to score, 45 points to win a game.
Right.
And as long as we don't start off against Kansas City as our first game, maybe we win our first playoff game and scare some people.
And
Yeah.
you got to remember too, we're doing all this with how many guys are injured on our defense. To me, that's even more impressive.
Right.
And we can't worry about who's playing or who's not playing. I think this coach has these guys believing themselves like I've never seen any Browns team play. They really are playing as a team. And that to me is refreshing to see.
Yeah, the shame of it is not having Odell to go back to New York.
I know.
That would have been great. He would have put on a
That's all
show,
we're
I
talking
think.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and guys, as I look at the standings, currently right now, the Colts, just as we speak, because we haven't played yet, they have now eclipsed us and are in the 5th spot for the playoffs because they won today. So we've now dropped to the 6th, but we haven't played our game yet, so who knows. So we are now in the 6th spot, or the second wild card right now.
Right.
But you've got the Dolphins, who are 9-5. So if we lose, we're tied with the Dolphins and we're tied with the Ravens. The Ravens have the head-to-head on us. The Colts would be ahead of us because they have a better record. And then it comes down to the tiebreaker between us and the Dolphins. So at this point, I think the Browns have to be looking at ourselves and be like, guys, it doesn't matter what all the other teams can win all the rest of their games.
Right.
As long as we take care of our business,
Exactly.
we're in good shape. And man, I never would have thought that with 3 wild cards, this new wild card system that we have going in, that it's going to take 11 games.
Yeah.
A minimum of 11 games to make it. I would have said, 10 games, you're good. 11, you're guaranteed. 12, oh my God. I mean, you have to be guaranteed at 12, right?
Yeah.
But man, what a wild season.
It has been absolutely insane. But you know what? I really believe that these guys are going to come out fast, furious, a little pissed off, and you get them off to a good start. And let me put it this way. If we can't beat the Giants, we don't deserve to go to the playoffs.
True.
To me, these are the teams we have to beat. So regardless, it's no one else's fault but our own.
Yeah, and especially since Daniel Jones is on the bench. They're starting Colt McCoy. The backup is somebody that we've never heard of, who's never played. So if Colt McCoy takes a hit and goes down, we're looking at a true rookie quarterback coming in for them. And now we've lost to rookie quarterbacks before.
I mean,
but those are different teams, different times, and different coaches. And I don't expect that. I think if Lamar hadn't come back in that game on Monday night to save them, we would have beat them. And the backup quarterback there did not look all that good. And if he had been in there for the last series, he hadn't got hurt. I think we would have taken him down. So
I agree.
So
cutting down on those penalties helps. Stewart had a horrible game.
Right.
These guys just have to step up. They can't just depend on Miles. I really do like how Olivier Vernon has stepped his game up over the last couple of weeks. But it's going to take a group effort, especially in the defensive secondary, to just hold their coverages, to not let anybody slip past you, and to just do what we need to do against teams like the Jets, the Giants, and it should have been the Ravens. So we'll see what's happening tonight. I feel good about it. I feel great.
I do too. I do too. I was not really down on Monday night or even going into Tuesday morning when I woke up. It would have been nice to get that 10th win. It would have been nice to beat Baltimore. But I looked at it as a very good outing by Baker. We didn't quit. The coaches coached very well, made a few mistakes, and a 55-yard field goal beats us at the end. I mean, that can happen to anybody. So this is the game that we have to win. If we don't win this game, we get blown out or whatever, shoot ourselves in the foot. Well, like Azella says, we don't deserve to go on
Right.
at this point anyway. So
Right.
I think we're peaking at the right time. We got our players back. We are missing Teller tonight.
And
Would've been nice to have
Sendejo's out too.
Yes, and
which
Deo's out as well.
we'll see
So
how that
hopefully
goes.
these backups can step up and we can have a really solid game.
Well, guys, let me ask you this: what do you think about the play of Peoples-Jones? I'm really impressed with him. I was wondering why they weren't using him a little bit earlier in the year. He brings a lot of height, which we don't have. He's got good hands. Even though he dropped that one like in the Jags game, they came back to him. And I think he's a threat that we need to have. It gives us depth, even with Higgins and them in there. Because Odell is down, it still seems like these guys have stepped up. I like Peoples-Jones.
Yep, I do too. I think he has, like you said, good hands. He doesn't fumble a lot, even though he does the kickoffs. He's not real speedy, coming from the goal line to the 20, but he takes some shots and he doesn't give up the ball.
Yeah.
I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think he proved with that 75-yard touchdown that, I mean, if he shakes a guy and gets open, I mean, he could take it to the house. So I really do like DPJ, and I think that at the very worst, we have a guy who's larger, being 6'2". We have a larger sized guy with good hands. And I think that of his production this year was a little bit limited because early on we had Odell in there, and then now we've gone really back to the running game really hard now that we have both Hunt and Chubb back in the games and healthy. But I got to tell you that his catch against the Bengals basically solidified him in my mind, my heart and mind, as I am a DPJ fan now. Forever because of that play. And I honestly, he's a rookie. I hope he keeps improving because the potential's definitely there. I'm not an Ohio State guy. Ellis, I'm not sure if you're an Ohio State guy, but so I don't watch a lot of Big Ten football. I watch a lot of ACC football. So I wasn't familiar with him as much coming out of Michigan, but I know a lot of Browns fans were excited about him. So were you a fan of him in college as well?
Yeah, I followed him because, he did play in the Big Ten. And I'm surprised he went all the way to the 6th round. I believe that's when we drafted him. But when we picked him up, man, I felt good. I was just wondering, why are they taking so long to implement him in the game, at least get him some reps? I can't think of the other receiver. I can't. Oh my God, his name slips me. But it seems like they kept kind of putting him on the back burner. But you know what? The coaches know way more than I do. I'm just glad to see he's relevant now. So.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they are starting to up his production a little bit more. So if I'm actually looking at his stats now, he went a couple games, where he didn't have a catch, and then really just kick and punt return pretty much. And then in this last game, he had 5 receptions, including that 2-point miracle catch that he had there, saving that 2-point conversion. So, but the last 2 games, he had 3 catches against Tennessee and then 5 against Baltimore. So it does seem like he's making the coaching staff a little bit more comfortable to target him a little bit more. Or it could also be, I think Baker is somebody that really thrives off of like relational play. That's why you see him going back to Higgins so much.
Yes.
And I think he's starting to, and Jarvis, I mean, he trusts Jarvis and Higgins you throw it anywhere near him. And he was doing that with Odell as well. It just takes some of these guys a couple reps with him, to get there. And I think Peoples-Jones has finally like gotten to that level with Baker that he feels comfortable with him.
Well, even in the Jaguars game, after that drop, the coach went right back to him. So that to me shows that they trust him. Anybody else, I've seen them pull guys off and they drown on the bench. You don't see them for the rest of the game. Right. But they came back to him, got his confidence up. And then you mentioned a good thing about relationships. Him and Higgins have always had that connection. And Higgins has been one of these guys that could have easily gone and signed with other teams, but he bet on himself.
Yep.
And that's a guy that they need to resign. But then, too, you look at the other spectrum. You've got a world known receiver is Odell Beckham,
Mhm.
who's been injured the last 3 years. Big cap number. If he had been there and been part of that chemistry, I think it would have been better. But we've got some decisions to make, coming up with that situation. It's a good thing to have, but they've got some real serious decisions to make.
Yeah, I think from what I heard that they're going to look to potentially restructure Jarvis and Odell in the postseason, because, or I would say, I'm sorry, after the season, not the postseason, because I think they're going to have to do some stuff. We have some guys that just need to get paid. I mean, the bottom line, Nick Chubb's going to need to get paid. Baker,
Big time.
Denzel, Wyatt Teller's going to get paid. I mean, there's going to be some guys out there that are going to they're going to get their bag, and I think you're right to your point about Rashard Higgins. I don't think, to be honest, out of all the players on the Browns, I think my two favorite players right now are Rashard Higgins and Nick Chubb. And Kareem Hunt too. I would say Kareem Hunt as well. But it's not, I'm not just taking anything away from Baker or Miles or any of those guys. But there's something about Rashard Higgins that just makes me want to cheer for him. Yeah. And I think your point about him coming back to the Browns and saying, I'll take. I think he signed like a $1 million 1-year deal. I'll take it. That said a lot to, I think, a lot of Browns fans, because we all were sitting there waiting for him to play in the Freddie Kitchens regime. We saw what he did the previous year, and we're like, dude, this guy's great. Snagging balls, catching touchdowns, walking down the red carpet, and then he just disappeared. And it wasn't, he wasn't, I mean, yeah, he was injured a little bit after that first Tennessee game, but he came back, and then they just buried him.
And it's like, makes you wonder what's going on. It's like no one ever really, there had to be something deeper going on. And, coaches get egos. They have attitudes. They didn't air it publicly, but it's deeper than they're letting it be known, because you don't leave a connection and a threat like that on the bench for just nothing.
Right.
At this point now, egos are getting in the way. And it's like, I'll show you. I'm going to bench you. But to me, he bet on himself. Mm-hmm. He looks great. I would love to see this guy stick around, and they have to do the right thing though and just re-sign him. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, I think that's another thing. I mean, he bet on himself. Like you said, he's like, I can make this thing happen. And it's like his own stock rose so high because of what he did on the field. And it's just recognized. I mean, it's undeniable, because you can look at it and slice and dice it however you want. You can look at the Pro Football Focus numbers; they're great. You can look at his production just from the raw productions from his stats. They're right in line with where you need to be as a solid number 2. And here's the best part about it: Odell Beckham goes down. Odell Beckham is arguably, one of the most talented athletes in the NFL. He goes down, and that threat is taken away. And what does Higgins do? He steps up, and he just becomes, he's like, I'm good. I got you. I got you, Baker. Just toss me the ball. And that's all he's done. Now, he's not the same player, right? He's not, nope. I'm not saying that he's replacing him or anything like that. Everybody relax. But what I am saying is, he's done a phenomenal job of stepping into that role and being the right guy. And you know what, guys? Here's the reality. Our team is going to live and die with what happens in the running game.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. If we run the ball well, and we got with Chubb and Hunt, we're good. If we don't run the ball well, and it forces Baker to throw, then those wide receivers got to catch the darn ball.
And let me tell you, not a lot of balls hit the ground with Higgins. But I think I love out of all that, look at how these guys come together when they do that red carpet. Baker sprints down the field. These guys are engaged. And to me, that, now they're having fun. Mm-hmm. That's what I like to see. They are having fun.
Yeah, it's like they're all a part of it. I know it's Rashard, and he got the touchdown, but you see Baker running up, sliding, doing a twist, and doing all that.
That's crazy.
I mean, they're all a part of it. It's like when the defense has a great moment, they go down and all celebrate together. When Rashard scores a touchdown, everybody comes together too on offense, because I just feel like everybody loves the dude.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm just such a huge fan of him. I thought it was odd that he changed his number from 81 to 82.
Yeah.
But still, hey, maybe he's just like, look, it's a new era, it's a new day, and like I'm going to 82, and I'm gonna make it happen for myself.
I thought that was retired. I thought Ozzy retired that thing, but maybe not.
I mean, I'm still waiting for them to retire 19. Like, I don't know why
The thing is,
19.
they only have so many numbers. But let me ask you guys here. I want to go kind of not really go in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
To me, when you look at a guy like Higgins that chose to come to Cleveland, what I liked about Baker during the draft, you got a lot of quarterbacks. So number one, Cleveland was like, the land of the misfit toys.
Mm-hmm.
No one wanted to come to Cleveland. But what he had the stones to say was like, if anybody can change this franchise around, it's me.
Yeah.
That right there let me know this is my guy. And let me tell you, I knew the general manager back then was going to draft him because if you listen to what he was saying, he goes, the number one thing I asked myself, do they win? So I looked at all the quarterbacks that were there for the draft. Baker was the only one that really stepped up and took his team to the next level and won on a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
So I already had Baker penciled in. He may not be 6'5" or what have you,
mm-hmm.
but he replaces that with Hart.
Yeah.
And Hart, you can't pay for. You can't buy it.
I watched, your mother had never seen Draft Day, the movie.
Oh, I just watched that last week, Dad.
Yeah. So I said to her, it's got some romance in it, a little bit, family thing. And if you've never watched it, let's sit down and watch it. And we did yesterday afternoon. She was into it from the minute it started. And of course it goes to Ellis's point about choosing someone who's got heart, who's a winner, who's a leader. And when it came down to, the choosing at the end where he's going to take Bo Callahan or not.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get any of his teammates to go to his birthday party. And that was the clincher for the coach or the general manager, Sonny, not to take him, go with his gut. And Mike and I drove up when that movie came out. I drove up from here to Jupiter, I guess it was. And Mike drove down from Orlando, and we met at the movie theater so we could watch that movie in the movies. And it was very good then, but I appreciate it even more watching it yesterday and listening to all the conversations. And as Mike and I were sitting in the movie theater at the end, we're sort of looking at each other and saying, how the hell this has got to have a good ending. How the hell does he get out of this thing?
Yes.
Even after he drafted the guy and he passed on, and then of course, then it shows that, the other people started passing on him because they thought something was wrong with him. And then he pulls off the secondary trades and gets his first round draft picks back. So it was a great movie. I enjoyed it. Your mother enjoyed it too.
Hey, can I share a funny story about that? Listen, here in Orlando, I worked at the airport for 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
I did security for celebrities. One of my guests was Kevin Costner.
Oh, really?
So of course. So I spent 2 days with him. I picked him up, got him to the limo. As he was coming back, I meet him as we go sat and have breakfast in the Delta room. I go, you know what, Mr. Costner, I got to tell you, I'm a Cleveland fan. The best part of draft day, when you were talking about throwing effing Putney too, I go, man, let me tell you, we were laughing so hard in the airport. He didn't even remember that part of the movie. He goes, what did I say? I go, your girlfriend goes, yeah, throw an effing Putney. Yeah, throw an effing Ray Putney. Now, let me tell you, that movie captured our hearts. Unless you're a Browns fan, that movie doesn't have that emotional tie to anyone except us.
Yeah,
exactly.
I thought that was a great movie. I just watched that last week.
And funny that Kevin Costner is such the, he's the sports actor, like one of the best sports actors, with Bull Durham and
Field of Dreams.
Yeah, Field of Dreams is the big baseball one. And then it just, when they come out with draft day, I would, because that was the whole thing during the time where we were just so mediocre and bad. And then we're like, oh, they're doing a movie about the Browns, and it's about the Browns draft. And the big joke was like, oh, the Browns Super Bowl is the draft every year. Like, who are we going to pick and who's
Yeah.
finally going to do it? And, I reflect a lot about, this window that we're in, this winning window that we're not only in now, but we're actually seeing some of the fruits of that happen right before our eyes. And, the draft of, Myles Garrett was a no-brainer. Like, the measurables were off the chart. The dude he's an awesome just person, right? And so it made a whole lot of sense to go out and grab Myles. And then the next year, when we had the opportunity at the quarterback, and it was like, okay, well, what are we gonna do now? And it was touch and go. There was the rumors it was going to be Darnold, and now if you look at what Darnold's done, he's kind of been fizzled to nothing. Nobody would have been happy with Josh Allen at that pick because he was unproven. Nobody
Right.
would have been happy with MVP Lamar Jackson at that pick because
Right.
who the heck would have known? I mean, that would have been a big gamble. And then we saw Baker throw the rookie touchdown record of 27. My dad and I
Yes.
were watching that when he came into that Jets game, and the first drive he throws that pass to Jarvis, drives us down, and we score. And then the 2-point conversion where he catches it, I was like, this kid's a star. This is our guy. And then I don't blame last year so much on him as was on Freddie and Todd Monken for what they were
Right.
doing with him. And
Right.
now you got Stefanski in there going, all right, well, I mean, he turned Kirk Cousins into somebody that looked really, really good. So
Exactly.
if you could take that sort of coaching and just apply that to somebody with the skill and the youth and the moxie of Baker Mayfield, then surround him with a boatload of talent, he's going to be doing okay. And I think it was a little shaky in the beginning, the first couple games of the season, because I think he was getting used to Kevin. Kevin was getting used to him, the other team. Then Nick Chubb goes down. So like, there's some hurdles that we had to overcome at that point. But I feel, and Batonia was actually just talking about this week in his presser, and he was like, look, it's just, we feel comfortable now in Kevin's offense. We feel like we're starting to get it. And they're starting to trust him. Whereas at this time last year, everybody was off the Freddie wagon.
Oh, it was a hot mess.
Yes.
Last year.
So now now it's December 20th. We're playing not only relevant football, we're playing hyper relevant football. We're being flexed to prime time. And a lot of it goes down to how well Baker Mayfield and Kevin Stefanski have worked together as a unit. And I got to tell you guys, I don't know if I could be more excited to be a Browns fan at any other time in my life than right now.
Oh, and the thing is, Stefanski may be young, but he's a no-nonsense type of guy. Normally, we would have all kinds of media crap going on. He's got these guys not blabbing and going on Twitter, making unnecessary comments. He's not wearing T-shirts saying we started it. He's about his business. He's so inflammable during the press conferences. But even if you reflect back to that Jets game, when Baker came in, it's like something switched. It looked like a whole different team. Like he just immediately took command of that team and was like, listen, I'm here. And you see there's a video clip, him on the phone talking to the booth. Someone did a meme like, hey, he doesn't live here anymore. I got this.
Oh, good.
I like it, man. I love where we're at. I'm beyond excited.
Yeah, I am too. I just think this is a special time to be a Browns fan. We've been through it's I talk about it like the Shawshank Redemption. Like we crawled through our puddle of shit to get to where we are right now. We've all earned it. Everybody in chat, everybody who's on Twitter, everybody who watches the games and goes to the games, we have all earned our stripes as Browns fans. I know me growing up in Central PA, being like the Browns fan in Central PA, and now where we are. I mean, it was an interesting time. Like in the '80s, we were good, so everything was fine. Then the '90s, we were meh, and then we lost the team. And I was talking about this on the Wednesday show. And people will get on me because when I talk about the Ravens, I talk about the Ravens in a very negative light.
Right.
I am
Me
not.
too.
I'm not a Ravens. It's still, they took away my Browns when I was 15. My dad and I used to go to the Browns backers bar and Steelton, PA, and watch the Browns together every Sunday because that was the big satellite days. They didn't have DirecTV yet,
Yeah.
and they took that away from us, and I'll never forgive them for that. And now it's just like it's losing to them again twice has just been such a bruising feeling. And
Yeah.
now we have a chance to put it all behind us, move on to the Giants, then move
Yeah.
on to we got to take care of business tonight.
Yeah.
Take care of business, get our 10th, get in and out, fly back to Cleveland, practice a little bit, fly back to New York, take care of business again, pop some champagne, and then get ready for the Steelers. That's what we have to do. The expectation tonight is a victory. Whereas
Yeah.
last week, and even against the Titans, the expectation was if we win, great, right? And
Right.
with and Ellis, how you started off the show today, you made a point. When you put somebody in a corner and you make them fight, then they're going to come out and fight.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to the Ravens last week. I don't feel the fight right now from the Giants.
Right.
Right? They're still technically, I think, in it.
Yeah.
Technically in it. So
Washington lost, so they are
there you go.
very much in it. And as Ellis said, we have not lost 2 games in a row. And that really speaks well of Stefanski getting them ready, not letting them dwell on the beating they took the week before against the Ravens at the first game against the Steelers. The Raiders game was nip and tuck, but that was a harder one to take because I think we should have won that game or could have won that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
A lot of
to
drops
lose
that
it
game.
on on Monday night and then come back. I don't think we'll lose 2 games in a row. I think we will win this game. I think the guys are going to be up for it. They have something to play for hard.
Yeah.
Giants are not going to lay down either. They're going to play hard, so it's going to be a good game. I think it's 6.5 points we're favored, which is a little bit much. But
Good.
hopefully we can put those points up like we have been in the prior games. That's for sure.
I just want to see us come out fast. I want to see us clicking on all cylinders. And
Right.
you know what? I couldn't be prouder to be a Browns fan. Even when we were losing, I was wearing my gear proudly. Because I tell you this, man, and a lot of our listeners, especially if you're really young, I'm going to date myself. I'm 59. I've been a Browns fan for 52 years. I've seen us when we were crappy. I know what it's like to shut the city down. And it's been nothing but heartache since Baltimore stole our team. I was at that game. It was so surreal and so sad. It didn't really hit me till that night. Channel 8 did a piece on the Browns moving, and they played Madonna. This used to be my playground. Dude, I couldn't hold it in. My ex-wife goes, Ellis, just let it go. I cried like a baby. I think I was physically sick for 3 days. But let me tell you, we've got the most proud fan base and loyal fan base. To these young people that have never seen this, get ready. This is going to be a ride like no other. And when we do hold up that trophy, you think the Cavs had a party? They're going to tear Cleveland apart. We're gonna light it up, baby.
It's going to happen. I think in this window we've got a chance. And there's a couple more pieces that we may have to add to really put us over the top to make us really that team. But man, if you're winning double-digit games in the NFL, then you're a contender, right? You still got some scary teams out there. Like the Kansas City Chiefs are as scary as they've ever been in the NFL, in my opinion, and they're in the AFC. So there's some teams that we're gonna have to get past, right? And we got to have some. We got to get luckier with some of the injuries. Having Odell go down, having Nick Chubb go down, having Myles Garrett, having Denzel Ward go down. If we put it all together, and we stay healthy and we add in a couple of those more role player pieces where we need to have them fit in, look out, guys. Like this next 5+ years is going to be, we're going to have to get used to having these wins, right? We're going to have to get used to having drinking out of those Victory Monday mugs. You know what I mean? So, well, hey,
going to have Russenberger for the next 5 years. I mean, he's on his way out, so they're going to have to retool. The Bengals were going to retool with Burrow, but he's sort of sidelined. And Jackson is going to be Jackson. I mean, we're going to have to deal with him.
And those are the teams we have to beat. But
Right.
You know what, Mike? Like you said in your last video, one of the lines that sticks out to me when Batman goes, "Does he bleed?" Well, he's about to. And to me, if it bleeds, you can kill it.
Right.
We just played mediocre defense. And that's what I look for us to do in the offseason. You got to remember, we got Dope It out. We've got Greedy out. We've got so many pieces out. And we're still competitive.
Yep.
Right.
Man, I like where we're at.
I do too. Well, Ellis, thank you so much for coming on, man. I gotta say,
man, my pleasure, my honor, man.
dude, I love it. I'm pumped. I love the motivational speech. I love all of it. I appreciate you spending time with us today, and we will absolutely be having you on again in the future because, I mean, man, I just love the energy. If not, I just love it.
Listen, now that I know that you're in Orlando, let's reach out. Guys, everybody that's on YouTube and Twitter, find me on Ellison Orlando, and let's Cleveland till the casket drops. Victory Monday tomorrow. Call it in.
All right.
Guys, man, thank you.
You got it.
Awesome. Thank you, Ellis. Take care, man. All right. What an awesome dude.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, like, what a fun guy to have on. Just a lot of fun. And honestly, like, I think that if anything is going to get the Browns pumped and motivated to have a great game tonight, it's going to be listening to Ellis talk about it. So thank him very much. So we got some other guys coming on here in a little bit, a couple minutes. We have the Browns Brothers podcast guys coming on. And they're going to give us their take on what's going on. But Dad, can you walk me through? I didn't get a chance to watch any of the games today, so I really don't know what happened. I was just like glancing at the scores. It looks like the Raiders lost, so they might kind of be having another nail in their coffin. But in terms of everybody else, what did you see around the NFL today?
Well, like I said, the Dolphins, I thought they were going to lose. The Patriots had them down a little bit, and Tua came back, and I think he ran one for a touchdown. He threw another one, and they beat him like 22-12. So they're in it. The Ravens just shellacked Jacksonville from the beginning. I mean, Jackson threw an interception on their first drive, which I thought would breathe some life into Jacksonville and maybe, the upset of the day.
Yeah.
If these guys put a game together. No. What happens next is Minshew goes, they get the ball, they intercepted on like the 2-yard line. So they stopped the drive. They didn't give up 7 points. But he goes back they run a running play, nothing. Then he goes back in the end zone. He looks left, he looks right, and he gets sacked for a safety. And they have to punt the ball. I changed the channel, and then I looked down at the scoreboard, and it's 9-0. They got the ball back, drove right down, scored another touchdown, and that was the end of the game as far as the Ravens.
Oh my God.
The other interesting point was, Schobert plays for Jacksonville now.
Mm-hmm.
He got a huge contract because the Browns were not going to pay him that kind of contract, and they put up a stat about midway, because I kept going back and forth between the games, the Tampa Bay game, and they put up a stat on Schobert that he, in the number of years that he's been in the league, he has the worst winning percentage of any, I think, starting linebacker. He's like, I can't remember, 8 and 42 or something like that. And so he's got the money and he's a good player, but I often think, boy, I bet you he misses not being on the Browns in whatever role they would have had for him, especially an increased role with the linebackers going down and not being very good. He was a tackler. He was in. He played hard, and that's why he got the money that he got from Jacksonville. But he's wasting away down there. They're 1-13 now, and if the Jets can hold on, I don't know what the tiebreaker would be between those two if they get their first win. And LA is close, so it's going to come down to the wire. See if the Jets can hang on.
I'm just looking at this. Dad, Jake Trotter. Hold on one second. Jake Trotter just tweeted out that the Browns' inactives include Mac Wilson is a healthy scratch today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and everybody's like, "What's going on with this?" Like, there's nobody knows yet what the story is with Mac Wilson. Anybody in chat see that? If anybody in chat has seen it, please let us know. Because I'm not going to be able to go and do research at the moment. People, please find out what's going on with Mac Wilson, why we're deciding to not have him there. If he's healthy, what's going on there? That is surprising news to say the least.
That's a big loss. That's too bad.
Hold on, there's an article on Browns that Browns posted. It doesn't say why. It just says who was inactive, but there's the picture that they put in the inactive, the Browns just tweeted a minute ago, is Mac Wilson. So I don't know what is going on there. That is surprising. But, yeah, so I don't know. Guys, this is a big game. This is a game we absolutely have to win. It's Colt McCoy. I was thinking about breaking out the Colt McCoy jersey. Just break out the Colt McCoy jersey that I've got up there. I don't know why I have a Colt McCoy jersey, but I do.
I thought, I like Brady Quinn too. I mean, I liked every quarterback basically, other than RG3. I thought he was not, your typical drop back pocket passer. He was injured. I thought he was just a stopgap type of situation, and as it turned out, it really was.
Yeah.
But at least he came back and is healthy and can play again. But he didn't get a fair shot. Colt McCoy, I don't think. I think he got a concussion, and they put him back in the game. And I think even his father and his parents were upset about that. And then he never really had a shot after that for whatever reason. So I'm glad he was able to pick up, with the Giants. He's had a couple of starts since he's left the Browns. Nothing, to write home about. So I don't expect him to come out and, have a vengeful game and really take it to us. Hopefully we can rattle him. He hasn't played. They don't have a good backup quarterback. So if he goes down, hurts, gets whacked or whatever, that could be a problem. So it's going to be interesting. I hope I tweeted you that one stat where I think we're 8-0 if we have the lead at halftime, and we're 1-4 if we don't have the lead at halftime. And of course, you can go back to those games. The Baltimore game we were down, Pittsburgh game we were down, the second Baltimore game we were down. I can't remember about the Raiders, whether we must have been down in that because we're 1-4. Getting off to a good start, as Ellis said, is paramount. Hopefully Baker doesn't throw that early interception.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that early fumble. We don't have that early penalty that kills the drive that we're on. Guys hold on to the ball. We don't give up that quick touchdown that hurts. Those are the things, all keys, all the same ones I keep repeating each week.
Yep.
Are the things that we need to. But this is even more important than the Baltimore game. I mean, this is really our defining moment for the playoffs. We bounce back one more time. We don't lose 2 in a row.
Yeah.
It's an away game. There's no fans there. The weather is 0 wind and 30 degrees, I think. So it's going to be a little chilly, but we're used to that. That should not be a problem. Weather is not going to be a factor in this game. Hopefully the field, which has got a lot of criticism, they've repaired that or done, because we are going to run the ball. And if we can't run the ball and we have no play action, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. They've got to move Baker out of the pocket, put him on the run, misdirection, and hopefully the offensive line does their thing and the defense keeps us in the game. We get that early lead and we just have a comfortable second half as opposed to a nail biting, sweating it out down to the last play type of thing.
Well, it looks like from what people in chat are saying that he was benched, and Jacob Phillips is going to get the start over him.
Mm-hmm. It's benched.
Well,
he did something.
So here's something that was noticed on Twitter. All right, this is something that happened this week and was noticed on Twitter, that Mack Wilson had blocked like 5 or so Browns fans who they just said, I think they might have said something negative about him.
Right.
And so he just went out and blocked them. Didn't say anything, didn't get into an argument, just blocked those people. And they noticed it. And so it was been talked about, hey, looks like Mack Wilson just blocked me or blah, blah, not me personally. I'm just reporting the story. And then so other people went back and checked if they had been blocked by Mack Wilson, and other people were. So it's like he was going out there almost like looking for his name on Twitter and then blocking people if they're saying stuff negative. Allegedly, right? Mack, don't block me, all right? I'm a big fan. But it looks like Jacob Phillips is now getting a start. I don't know if it's related to something behind the scenes, something happened.
Emblem said here on the chat that he had 0 tackles last week. Is that true?
It's very possible. I haven't looked.
As a linebacker and not have a tackle.
Well, I mean, you give up 47 points. All right, we got the guys coming in from the Browns brothers. Hold on one quick second. I'm gonna get these guys in here. Daniel. Hold on a second. We're having a hard. I don't know if I have you. I don't know if we got you on. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. The mic is not on. Daniel and Jonathan from the Browns Brothers podcast are joining us amidst some technical challenges. There we go. I think we got you.
Here we go, Brownie. Here we go.
Ooh, ooh. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Daniel, you and I go way back several weeks. Jonathan, nice to meet you. Guys, and this is my father, Dan.
Hey, nice to meet you guys. Hey,
nice to meet you too.
Very welcome.
Great name. Nice to meet you, Mike. Great to talk to you again.
Absolutely. Guys, you guys are there at MetLife.
Here. We're boots on ground, BOG. Yeah. We're here in MetLife for the next 2 weeks. Just sizzle up some New York strips.
That's great. That's great.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Guys.
How's the show been?
Show's been good so far. We just got the news that Mack Wilson is not playing tonight, so that's kind of interesting. And there's some speculation about what's going on with that. Have you guys heard anything, or is this all just literally breaking this moment?
I'm glad you say that, Michael. I got winded earlier this morning in the circles that I'm in. I wasn't sure if it was fluff or if it was real. Obviously, we're seeing that come to fruition now. I think Mack Wilson has been a question mark on our defense. He is really, as far as we're going to go, is as far as that linebacker position will take us, as well as the secondary. So I think having him out is going to be interesting to see who fills the spot in his absence. I know B.J. Goodson has been an incredible presence on that defense for us. So I feel pretty good about 93 in his absence, but I guess we'll just see. I don't know what your guys' take is.
I mean, you just got to look. You just got to look at the production. I mean, the production has been kind of
Yeah, we can't afford to have that particular position linebacker. We know it's weak to begin with. To lose somebody that could have a good game for us, that could be an impact player, is not good. It requires somebody else to step up who's unproven totally, and maybe they'll have a great game, and that would be great. but it's not one we're going to backfill with somebody that's really, really great. Otherwise, they would have been playing. So I'm hoping that does not get exploited. The fact that we're dealing against Colt McCoy as opposed to maybe Daniel Jones or some other top-rated quarterback or running game, that would worry me even more.
I think you just hit the nail on the hammer there, Dad. The issue with our defense is we're playing AFC North football. I know we're playing an NFC East opponent this evening, but
NFC least.
The AFC North requires, that's the black and blue division, if you will. You got to have a Ray Lewis, a thumper, if you will, at that Mike linebacker position. And I think that's what our defense has missed. Pittsburgh obviously invests every single year first-round talent in their defense, and we just don't do it.
Right.
And I'm seeing here that we've also got Sheldrick Redwine taking over for Sendejo today.
Right.
And Chris Hubbard in place for Wyatt Teller.
Correct.
And they're saying Jacob Phillips in place for Mac Wilson here. And it's just another game we go into here with these last second inactives that continue to surprise us week in and week out. And, this is going to be a big game. We're seeing another New York team here having a tough fought game that we're playing next week versus the Rams. These Giants with the Cowboys lost earlier today. They've got something to play for, and this is a big game for both of us.
Right. I agree.
I don't know if you saw what Coach Stefanski said, and I'm sorry, Mike, but Coach Stefanski had a really good bulletin board piece this week. He said, we need to play like we're the desperate team. Obviously, New York is trying to win their division. The NFC East is still available, but we need to play like we're the team that has everything to lose tonight.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and I think these next two games are really a must-win for us. I mean, at the end of the day, like we're going to have to get to 11. It is what it is this year. It's one of those years in the AFC where the NFC is terrible. And I mean, they're so bad that the 9-4 Rams lose to the 0-13 Jets. So it just goes to show like they can't get a break anywhere. It's gonna take 11 to get there. And you know what? We're going to have to do it. And we got two back-to-back. It's interesting when I saw the schedule even come out that it was back-to-back games in New York. That was just odd. I don't think we've ever seen that.
The Jets.
The Jets team. There was another team that.
20.
Yeah, they did.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
They're off the snide. We don't have to worry about that next week. They may play good, but they won't be getting.
They don't want to win too.
They lose Trevor Lawrence at 2.
I think Mike, you brought a good point up about spending an extra week in New York. Any other year in a non-COVID year, I'm worried about that, especially in a town like New York with all the temptation. There's a lot that can go wrong, but I think in a COVID year, they're going to be on lockdown. They're going to have to follow protocols. So I'm not as worried about it as I would have been in a non-COVID year, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And, my dad was actually saying earlier, it's unfortunate that we didn't get OBJ to go back to play against the Giants and the Jets. That's an unfortunate thing. I know that's probably, just killing him right now. But you know what? It is what it is. It's a freak injuries. Freak injuries happen all over the place. And if we can stay healthy and continue to improve, I think we've got as good a shot as anybody else out there. You get to 10, 11 wins, you can go on a crazy run. Rustano and I talk about that on the Wednesday show. I look at the Eagles a couple years ago in a similar situation. Maybe not the greatest team under the sun, certainly not by Super Bowl champion standards, but they got hot at the right time. And so we have to shake off the filth from that Ravens game and then push forward and just see what happens, right? We have to, on paper, guys, we are the better team clearly than the Colt McCoy-led New York and Saquon Barkley-less New York Football Giants, and of course on the Jets side as well. If we have 10 wins, we play the Jets and lose. I'm sorry, we don't deserve to be in the playoffs at that point.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean.
I think it's important not to overlook your opponent. Any given Sunday, you don't want to stub your toe. The margin from first to 32nd is never as much as you think it is.
Yeah, the Rams have got to feel terrible. I mean, they're in the hunt. They're fighting for the lead of their division, and they come up lame against the Jets. right from the beginning. They were losing from the get-go. So that's a terrible loss for them, and they're going to have to sit on that plane for several hours going back to LA, thinking about the egg that they just laid oh no, I'm sorry, it's the other way around. The Jets were out there, so they get to celebrate on the plane. You guys are sitting at their stadium. Are you guys going in for the game tonight?
We have strict COVID restrictions. As you can see, we have our masks off, but we're 6 feet away from everybody here in the parking lot.
Right.
We're actually trying to get in. You were talking about who the Giants are without, and let's not miss the elephant in the room, Freddie Kitchens. We're trying to get in there and just start absolutely yelling at him. And we're projecting a big game out of Hollywood Higgins. Almost, we saw him be the redheaded stepchild to Freddie Kitchens, and now we're seeing him shine in the absence of OBJ. And do you think maybe we see a bit of a Hugh Jackson return, and where Hollywood Higgins gets the ball, scores a touchdown, and brings the ball over to Freddie?
Oh God! Well, that was a 15-yard penalty. One of those throwing the shoe down the field. The LSU guy the other day. I mean, you don't want to get in a bad moment, even though you want to rub it in. There's all next week, the whole rest of the season to rub it in on wherever you want to go, Twitter or Facebook or whatever. To do it in the game, I hope he shows some maturity.
And I think to Coach Stefanski's point, what is the double-edged side between every coach we've had before Coach Stefanski and him, what's bringing the stability is he doesn't tolerate that sort of behavior. Knock on wood, if you look at the sort of game-changing penalties that we've normally had for the last decade, we've seemed to avoid them for the most part. If you remember last year in the Week 1 opener against Tennessee, Chris Hubbard got kicked out for kicking a Titans player. Myles Garrett did what he did. You had Antonio Callaway not showing up to games, all sorts of things that a good franchise doesn't do. Right? Yeah, they seem to avoid that stuff this year.
All the hype on OJ's shoes and what Jarvis was wearing on his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And now you look at all the shoes that all the guys are wearing this year and the shields, they were giving them a hard time week after week. And yet they let all these other players do whatever they wanted. What a distraction.
DK Metcalf's got a pacifier on every week.
Yeah.
I mean, even we go back to last week versus Jonathan and I, we don't even like to say their name. We refer to them as the Baltimore Rats. So even as far as last week, Jarvis Landry, he didn't do any retaliation until it was after the fact. When he got spit on. A classic Rats move. Week in, week out, the Rats, the Steelers, they're doing that nasty stuff. And, Juju's dancing on logos. Who knows if he's going to dance on a logo tomorrow night. Hopefully he will and jinx them again. But, this team, they're smart, they're well coached, and they're ready for primetime. And I don't know when the last time we've had back-to-back primetime games was.
I think what was so important about last week is yes, the ultimate goal was to win the game, but we showed the national media, I think more importantly, we proved ourselves that we are right there. The Baltimore Ravens were number 1 seed last year. They had a bye week, and we're right there. The difference between them and us, it's any given Sunday. It's razor thin, and I think that was the sort of effort that our team needed in a losing effort to know that, we've arrived. I heard someone say on the radio, I believe it was Bo Bishop this past week, the New York Giants lost to the Patriots in 2007 when they went 17-0 into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But there was a close loss. It was towards the end of the season, and they had confidence that if they were to match up with them again, they were beatable. They can bleed. And I think that's kind of where we're at now. We got knocked down a peg, but we know our best punch is going to knock anyone else down, as well as that Titans game was huge for our morale as well.
Right.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think ultimately, going into that game, I think I talked about it on our pregame show last week. It wasn't a must win for us. It was a nice to win. And for the Ravens, it was a must win, right? So it wasn't like we weren't fighting for our life to stay alive, right? It was like, hey, if we win, it'd be awesome. But and then we got down and we fought and clawed our way back into that and made it a game all the way down. People were saying this was one of the best Monday Night Football games they had ever seen in their life. And
I was one of them.
If we would have won that game, it would have been the best Monday Night Football game I had ever seen in my life. And that just goes to show, I think it's a really good point that we are very close. We're definitely competitive. We have the talent to match up really with anybody. If we can make some of the adjustments on defense, that might be one of the reasons why Mac Wilson isn't playing tonight, because they just saw something on defense and they're like, he's just not getting it. And we have to make a change to be able to stay competitive. But I think the real key will be, obviously these next 3 games are really important, but that last game against the Steelers, right? Because that's going to be the one that we're going to be able to sit there and go, hey guys, it's clearly the Ravens have taken a step backwards. They go in 14-2 and they've already lost 5 games. So they've taken a step backwards. The Steelers took a massive leap forward, but I mean, they're going to be at the end of their run because you switch out that quarterback, and Ben Roethlisberger right now is playing backyard football, right? I mean, he's not sitting there, studying games or anything. He's just doing it based off experience alone. So when they have to replace that position, that's going to be the luck of the draw. Just see what happens. They bring in a veteran or they try to go the rookie route and see if they can make that happen. But clearly, and I think this is one of the reasons that the Ravens fans were so vocal and vile as they always are, is because I think they feel deeply threatened by the Cleveland Browns right now. Deeply. And if they're being honest with themselves, they should. Because we're the up-and-coming team. We're ahead of them. We lost the game last week. It didn't do anything to us in the wild card. We're still 5th. Right now, we're technically 6th because the Colts won, but, we haven't even played our game yet. So this is what happens. We got to take care of business in New York 2 games in a row, and then it is what it is against the Steelers. And if we have to hold on for whatever wild card spot, then we do. But at least we'll get in there. That's my barometer of success this year. Did we make the playoffs or not? And for all intents and purposes, is right now, I think it's a little bit too early for everybody to pop the champagne and say, like, this is great. But I think we can all agree that we are trending in the right direction. Kevin Stefanski has worked. And being that he's so young and the core of our team is so young, we have a bright future ahead of us. Whereas who knows what's going to happen with the Ravens? Who knows what's going to happen with the Steelers? Who knows what's going to happen with the Bengals? This now becomes although it's a competitive division, it still kind of becomes a division that could change here in the next year or 2, depending upon what happens to this quarterback situation.
Absolutely. And I think if you look at the way the team is built, we've done the right work, whether it be John Dorsey or now Andrew Berry. We've built from the inside out. And what I mean by that is we're strong in the trenches.
Right.
We're strong, obviously, at running back, which you can't emphasize the importance of that enough in the AFC North with the bad weather games that we have. If you look at this year, we've had 3 in a row of horrible weather games. Number 24, obviously, we're both repping number 24, Nick Chubb. I don't think that there's better.
Nick Chubb.
I don't think there's a better running back in the National Football League than Nick Chubb.
I mean, I think we go back a couple weeks to your guys' amazing hype up video with the Batman theme. Listen, the Dark Knight is in Gotham City tonight. He was up last night and he posted a photo from the hotel room of the Dark Knight with the skyline. He's ready to roar.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys are betting folk, but I have Nick Chubb. I like him for at least 115 yards and 2 scores tonight. I think he goes off in his hometown of Gotham City, like Daniel mentioned. There's no reason for him not to get the ball 20 times plus per game. He is an electrifying talent. He is going to wear down the defense. The only player worth their lunchbox over there is Jabril Peppers.
He's out, I think.
Is he really?
No. I think unless it was just recently updated, because I was looking at the injury report, and it looks like everybody, the only person out for them as of the injury report is Darnay Holmes, the cornerback. So it looks like I guess Peppers is playing.
I thought
Okay,
he was out. I saw something.
Guys, I think what's important, I want to take one moment, just real quick, just to take one moment to realize that at this point in the season, we're not looking at the draft order.
Yeah.
We're not looking at the best up and coming head coach from college. We're not looking at who's the best quarterback coming out of the draft. I mean, there is some real stability forming, and we're at a point now where we're a piece or 2 away And we're not looking at that 53-man roster and just what do we do? There are guys out there that are competitive and could start on any team in the league.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. The talent, the core talent's there, right? And I think even the national media is now recognizing that, okay, the Browns have married talent with execution. I think where our kryptonite is on the defense, right? Now, that being said, we get the Warden back tonight, right? So that's huge. And I firmly believe that if we would have had Denzel Ward playing last week against the Ravens, that would have been the difference right there. Because the difference between
that play with Martin doesn't happen.
Yeah. The difference between Stewart and Denzel Ward is monumental, right? So, and the penalties and what he did, Stewart did, I mean, he did the best he could. I'm not ragging on the kid. I mean, he stepped up. He was asked to do a job that was very difficult. But the reality was, if we have Denzel Ward in there, it makes a big difference. Now, this Giants team does not have the scary talent. If Saquon was out there, hey, that's something you got to absolutely respect. But
Right.
And even Daniel Jones to a certain degree. Daniel Jones is a lot more athletic than people give him credit for.
Right.
And at this point, I think everybody can clearly say he's much more talented than Colt McCoy. So, but I will tell you, Colt McCoy, he beat when he was on the Redskins, he beat the Cowboys. I mean, he's not he's not Mike Glennon, right? I mean, a
few weeks ago they took down the Seahawks, if I'm not mistaken, with Colt McCoy leading the Chargers there for Big Blue. I think they went into Seattle and took the Seahawks down. So that was
Big surprise.
Again, we talk about the NFC being in any given Sunday league. That there's no kidding about that.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't overemphasize your opponent. I think the most important thing is what Coach Stefanski said: play like we're the desperate team tonight. Don't overlook your opponent. We may be in New York for 2 weeks, but we can only play one at a time. You only get one win at a time, so let's focus on this one first. We win this game tonight. I think we put a lot of our skeletons to bed in the closet from a national media perspective.
Right.
I think it gives our guys the confidence moving forward that when we play on a big playoff stage, it's no different than tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, talk to me. Tell the audience where they can find you. I know I can find Daniel over there on eFuse, but talk to us about the podcast, when it's coming back, and where they can follow you on Twitter and all that jazz.
Yep. So at the Browns Bros podcast, we're on anywhere you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast. We've taken a bit of a hiatus. We've been head down grinding here. I had a couple moves. Jonathan and I are now both together in the 614, Columbus, Ohio. So we will be back here on the air in a couple weeks, and we can't wait. This Browns team has been a delight to watch every Sunday. It went from being something tough to start the week out with,
Right.
and just hard to even wake up on Mondays. I think we had a string of like 2.5 months of I got to wake up and on a Monday morning call wear my brown and orange.
Yeah.
And, Jonathan and I, we've spent our money at NFL Shop. We spent our money at fanatics.com. And it's finally paying off for all four of us here.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I think I talk about it quite a bit with Ristano. Ristano might if he could just sell all the stuff in his closet for Browns gear, he could probably send both of his kids to college. I think we are all equally invested financially and then emotionally in this Cleveland Browns organization. I think the people in chat as well. The people in chat probably all is what my dad for many years.
Oh,
So
I go back to the mid 50s when I first started watching with my father. My father's first name was German, came over through Ellis Island. His first name was Otto. And I think he started rooting for the Browns because of Otto Graham. And not many kids are named Otto, growing up in the 30s and the 40s. So he got me started when Jimmy Brown was going against Sam Huff. Great football. Got to see the Browns once in Shea Stadium when Broadway Joe was still playing. It was at the end of his career, and they wound up winning that game. And I've been through, the lean years. I've been through the Sipe years, which were great. The Cardiac Kids. It was just thrilling to watch those guys win games at the end of the game. Then we went again through a down time, and then Bernie came out. And the thing that impressed me with Bernie was, one, he was so smart, and two, he said, "I want to play in Cleveland, even though they're not that good. I want to play there. I want them to draft me in the supplemental draft," and they did. And
until Belichick came along.
Yeah, and Belichick.
And we see what he did today.
When he cut Bernie, that really was like a knife in the heart. He was the heart and soul of the Browns in Cleveland. He would, after games, he would go to the hospital and sign autographs for kids, win or lose. I mean, Bernie was really great. He went through some difficult times. I think he did suffer from the concussions, which he's gotten his hands wrapped around. But I haven't been this excited about the Browns since he left. And with Baker coming and Chubb and Miles, I mean, I just, I'm right back to where I was, 50, 60 years, 70 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's incredible, Dan. One thing that you mentioned that gives me, chills is Bernie wanted to be a Brown, right? If you go back to that year when we drafted Baker Mayfield, it was Josh Allen or Sam Darnold. Nobody talked about Baker Mayfield in the pre-draft process. But Baker Mayfield talked about him going to the Browns. He said, if anyone can turn the ship around, it's myself.
Yeah.
And that means something to us Cleveland Browns fans. Someone that wants to be a Brown, that wants to, be responsible for taking all the history, good, bad, and ugly, and putting that on their shoulders and saying, hey, let's do this. This is our team together. I think that's what's so important about Baker. He's the prince who was promised, if you will. We deserve him. We've suffered for him. And I think now is the night that we get to, watch the fruit of his labors pay off.
Good. I agree.
Yeah. Guys, what's your score prediction for the game?
I'm thinking tonight's going to be a big game. I'm thinking the offense is going to come out firing. I'm hoping that we have an offensive explosion similar to what we had versus the Titans a few weeks back. But we've seen when we have these explosions, going as far back to a couple of years ago when it was the same type of explosion versus the Falcons. Mm-hmm. And this week, I'm thinking the Browns are going to go off 34-27.
Mm.
Wow.
Tough
okay.
defensive game. Yeah.
I have the Browns 38-24. I think the Giants have some early offensive success, but we're able to catch up to them and make some mid-game adjustments from Joe Woods and his defensive staff that shuts them down in the second half to 4 points plus, if that.
I will take that. I'll echo that. My score predictions are always crazy, so it doesn't matter what I say; they're nowhere near it. But if I had to pick one, I'm gonna say 37-24. There you go.
I like it.
And I wrote mine down on a piece of paper before you guys said yours. 38-21. I'm predicting. So
we're all trying to cover the spread, other than Daniel. So
I nailed it again.
All right, I love it. Hey guys, Browns brothers, Daniel and Jonathan, thank you guys for coming on the show. We appreciate it. You guys are welcome back. Enjoy your time at fictional MetLife Stadium. And
we'll be looking for you.
we're going to start playing Frank Sinatra now.
All right, I love it. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. We'll talk soon.
Take care, guys. Nice meeting you. Enjoy it. We'll talk to you maybe next week against with the Jets.
Go Browns.
Go Brownies.
Go Browns. All right, so we got we had the Browns bros that were on. Those guys, check them out.
I hope they get in so we can look in the stands and see if we can see them there.
They weren't actually there. I hate to burst your bubble, but it was just a Google Hangouts fake background, kind of like I have.
God.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to pick up on that, but I was like, I'll go along with it. We should have Ristano joining here in a second as well. He was hopping in the shower and then he wanted to come on and say hello. We got to get some words of wisdom from the wise Mike Ristano. Yeah, and I mean we're counting down here. We're getting close.
Yeah, ask the guys to put their scores in so that if they pick the winning score, we give that jersey away.
Yep, we got scores already filing in. Guys, go ahead and type in your score now. Let me put it. I'm gonna actually chat it. I'm gonna type it in chat too, so everybody knows. Post your scores now for the jersey win. Okay, that's close enough.
Gotta have the exact score.
Yeah, exact score. And I'm going to go all the way back down to Jason. I got Jason, who was the first one to put his in. So I'm going to copy all of this now as we wait for Mr. Ristano to join us. In the meantime, guys, if you happen to be in the greater Cleveland area and you're buying or selling a home, check out William Ali. His logo is going to pop up there every once in a while with a phone number. If you guys are buying or selling a home, check him out. Sabo Apparel is another one. That support us. Those guys at Sabo. We're going to be doing the Sabo apparel giveaway here in a second as well. Homage is another great one. Homage gives us a shirt. We're probably going to do that on the post-game show. And Schlegel Law as well. Schlegel Law Firm, if you're in the Columbus area and have any legal needs, wills, trusts, evictions, all that kind of good stuff. John Schlegel is a lawyer, a good friend of mine, and a big Browns fan and a supporter of the show. So give Schlegel Law a call for any legal needs in the greater Columbus area. So let me find my scores folder.
And you only get one pick, guys. No, you can't put in multiple picks. You get one score for the jersey.
You get one, correct. One score for the jersey. I got Mr. Roll Up in here. All right, I think I got everybody. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough to get them all. But I'll let them go in. Lace Nix is in the house. I should give out some shout outs. B Skrills is in the house. Zach Herbert, Jason, Juaz. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. The Ultimate Sports TV, Sean Hull, Damian Gordon's here, Steve Hayslip, Thomas, Abram Shizik, Ed Ritter, Jackie Haynes is in the house. How's it going, Jackie? Nice to see you. Golden Age Gamers Gaming, lots of gamer stuff. Jones over there on Twitch. Cody Justinson, Jacob Graham, Dan Cole, Quentin Martinez, David Klee, Ryan Brown, bunch of old and new folks that are in the house. And we're starting to go for it. Let me go for it. You're good to join. All right, new follower there, Kells. Welcome, Kells. Follower on Twitch. We are live both on Twitch and on YouTube. For anybody on YouTube, everybody go ahead and click the like button right now. Give me some likes and some love for that. And I'm gonna make
Mike about your new video.
Oh yeah, everybody, we got the new video over there on Twitter. Oh, he needs the link. Hold on one second, guys. I need to provide him with the Hangouts link. Ba-da-ba-bum. There we go, Mike. Yeah, new video. So there's a guy who reached out to me a couple weeks ago. Cade, his name is Kincaid, and he is my Browns guy. Bear Kincaid, his name, Bear. First name Bear. And you can find him on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube and all the places. Bear Kincaid. He does the Brownie postgame intro, the Here We Go Brownies, Here We Go Woof Woof song. And he came out with a Christmas song and asked me to create a video for him for the Christmas song. He commissioned me, as you could see, you could say, and worked on that. It took me 7 hours today, put that thing together. And so that's up on Twitter. So you guys see the Browns Christmas song. You guys can enjoy that.
It's great. I listened to it for the first time. It's really good.
All right, we got Ristano coming in here, joining the show. Let me get him in here. Mike, how's it going?
It's going.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Hey, Dan. How are you? It's been been a long day, huh, Dan?
Oh God, watching all these crummy games, waiting for Sunday night.
Man, I am ready. The only thing that I have negative going for me is Murray is just killing my fantasy team.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, so it's going to take. I need a huge game from Hunt to have a chance.
Oh, okay.
Well, hopefully we get that. I mean, this is one of those games that we can either annihilate them or we're going to play down to them and it's going to be tough. Now, it's an away game. We have been playing well away. We put up points away, right?
Yeah.
So there's a possibility that we could go nuts. This is a game that I'm sure this game and the Jets game, Hunt and Chubb probably had circled as like, those are our feed me games. Those are the big stat games. So you never know. I mean, maybe you might have a shot with tonight.
Yeah, I may. What I found, I shouldn't say funny because I mean it's not funny for somebody's livelihood, but at the same time, it's like how many days in a row, how many weeks in a row can you just tweet BS and search for your name when you're not even, added, if you will, and just not back it up on the field. And finally, Jacobs is healthy enough, or Phillips is healthy enough, I should say, that we're going to see what he could do at that linebacker spot with Mac Wilson not only benched.
I was actually we were talking about that, and I told that story about how it seemed like he was searching for his name out there, and it might be a maturity thing. It might be some of the production, maybe some feedback the coaches were giving him, saying like, hey, we need to see some improvement or this or that. Maybe he didn't take it right. But did he even, if he's a healthy scratch, did he even make the trip?
That's a good question.
Yeah, he went from playing to not to the bench, but to being a scratch.
Yeah, I would say he did not make the trip. That would be my guess.
Yeah, I would think so too.
That is wild. That tells me that there's either a serious production issue or an attitude issue or something, but that's not good, to have happen. And, if Jacob Phillips is ready to go, let's see what he's got.
Yeah.
I watched some of the film again yesterday, and yeah, I mean, and of course, I'm sure that the coaches didn't base this just on a one game, trial, if you will. But looking at some of those, defensive series, I mean, there were times where I know on 2 or 3 plays in particular where, I mean, he was in the hole with the back, and I mean, it was almost as if he didn't even want to make the tackle, which I know that's not the case. So then it leans over to the fact that he just doesn't have the talent to be a top level or even a mid-level linebacker, in the league. I mean, I think it scores a 29-3 at this point on PFF. So,
Well, I mean, he's got a lot to think about now, because now it's the time where he's gonna have to reflect, and there's gonna be a lot of character building right now. It doesn't feel good to get demoted, and publicly, and then not making the trip. So there's gonna be a lot of questions that are gonna be asked about that too, because when Trotter tweeted it out and the Browns tweeted it out, and they used the picture of Mac Wilson in the tweet saying that of who's not playing tonight. Yeah. So man, it is it's interesting. But when you give up 47 points, and if the tape is showing, like you were mentioning, if you saw it in the tape, then the Browns coaches and quality control people saw it in the tape, and that's not good for Mac. But who knows? I mean, maybe he learns from it and gets better. We'll see. Or maybe Jacob Phillips, steps up and plays well. Who knows? We'll see.
I hope he has a mentor. I hope there's somebody who's his buddy that's mature, that can take him under their wing if they haven't already. But sometimes these slaps in the face, these benchings, being called out about how you're performing or how you're not performing, is a wake-up call. Some guys take it and can deal with it and step up, and others can't, and they quit. They want to be traded. They're done. And we're going to see what kind of player, what kind of person Mac Wilson is.
And you know what, Dad? This also, and Mike and I have talked about this on the Wednesday show quite a bit. This goes back to there might have been something that started in preseason with Mac. When he went and injured Nick Chubb and like gave him a concussion in preseason, in practice.
Yeah,
And they were
right.
like, hold on a second, man. This is our guy. This is our this is the guy here. You can't be going out and trying to take this guy's head off. I don't care how hard you're playing in practice. That's not the guy that you want to do that to. Which I'm just speculating here. I have no facts to back this up, guys. I'm just a fan.
Regular fans, yeah.
But I will tell you that if anybody's worked in a job and with a new boss, and if you screw up the first week, first impressions, right? You got to then have an uphill battle. And then after that first impression, if the production wasn't there to help improve that, man, I mean, it was funny. We talk about linebackers on the Wednesday show so much, it could be just called the linebacker show.
It very well could be.
And we're critical, not hypercritical, not critical to the point of it being personal by any means, but Taki and Mac Wilson have been two guys that we're really hoping to see more from this year. Yeah. And we hadn't really gotten it. Now, Sione has elevated, and there's no doubt about that. Right. Mac Wilson hasn't yet. We haven't seen that. Now, he's a young kid. I want to say he's like 21 or 22 years old. He's young, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't think anybody's ready to give up on him yet. But, and he's not a knucklehead off the field. So let's see what happens, see what's going on, and hopefully Joe can
PFF scores for every game per position, so you can go back. Did Mac Wilson ever have a good game for us that he scored really high?
I don't have them personally. I just have the overall, but I do know some people that do have the game by game, and there's really been no improvement. If anything, it's just been it'll either get worse or it'll stay the same within like a tenth of a point and then and then drop down again. Like there's nothing really that has improved in his game. I mean that I could see or that I could see statistically.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing. I mean, it could still be the knee. He never really got through that knee injury. A lot of players fight through stuff that they shouldn't be playing through. And he's a tough kid, and I'm sure he wants to prove to everybody that he belongs in the league and all that kind of stuff. But at this point, we're going to have to see it. I don't think the Browns are going to give up on him yet. He was drafted high enough that he's going to have an opportunity to still prove it. Who knows what happens? I'm just surprised that he didn't make the trip, or he's being a healthy scratch right here at the end, just from a depth perspective, right? If you look at it, like you lose one or two linebackers, and now we don't have a guy who's started the entire year. He's just sitting at home.
Yeah, I mean,
that surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a little bit of a microcosm of this whole season.
Yeah, it's but that's another thing, as Ellis was talking about earlier. Kevin Stefanski's he's a no nonsense guy.
Yeah, I
mean, he's not gonna sit around and be okay with this stuff going on. He's here to win games, and he's here to have guys come in who can win. And a lot of these guys, almost all of them, are not Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry guys. There's only a few that are, and Jacob Phillips is, right. Yep. Jacob Phillips is one of the Mac Wilson and Taki and those guys. They're Dorsey guys, right? Baker Mayfield was a Dorsey guy, and Baker Mayfield, Chubb is Dorsey. Yeah, Chubb is a Dorsey guy. Hunt is Dorsey guy. Now those guys pretty solidified that they're going to be okay. But if you even look at Baker Mayfield, they brought in Case Keenum, a guy that Stefanski knew pretty well in his days in Minnesota, and Baker hasn't given anybody. Even a second thought about not having him play, right? This year he's just done nothing but played really to the best of his ability. And to be honest, I don't even think we've seen the ceiling of Baker Mayfield yet.
He played hurt with bad ribs.
Yeah.
for a quarterback to be able to throw with bad ribs or be able to take a hit, wearing those big flak jackets that they have to wear. I mean, it just he's persevered. He's come through the tough part of the season, getting whacked around, and now he's peaking. And I hope he has a great game tonight. I really do.
I agree. And to Mike's point, it's funny because I was watching the latest edition of Building the Browns last night. We were, the family were all sitting around.
I haven't watched that yet. Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. And we were sitting around, we were watching Christmas movies, and then it got a little bit too late and we were just all sitting around. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pop the latest Building the Browns on. So I did. And it's funny to what you were just saying, because they were showing some Zoom meetings and, some locker room stuff that I haven't seen. I don't know. There's a couple of them that I haven't seen. I don't know if they have been out there and I just missed them.
Mm-hmm.
But point being is he is a very no nonsense guy. Like, you can tell that, I mean, he had a PowerPoint up in the one meeting, explaining, we're going to be laser focused this week, and, and a video of Mike Tyson, and you could just tell in his demeanor and the way he goes about, talking to the guys, that, there's no mistake about it. Like, he is the leader of this team, and they obviously have bought into it, and you're seeing the train rolling. So it's, it's good news for us.
That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It is, this is just going to be such an interesting game. It's in one side, it's a must-win game for us. So there's a little bit of drama. It's a Sunday night football game, so it's a primetime game. We get primetime Browns 2 weeks in a row, and it's not primetime Browns where they're like, oh, we have to watch the Browns. It's like we just came off an amazing Monday night game against a really tough in division rival game. We took them down to the wire, and now we get to go to New York. We got to play them. We got to play against the Giants, who are still fighting for their life, even though the best they can be is 8-8. They're still fighting for their life. Because the football team is equally as mediocre. So they're going to come out and they want to win this game as well. And as the Browns brothers were saying, I think Jonathan was mentioning that they took down the Seahawks a couple weeks ago with Colt McCoy. So Colt wants to win this game, and Freddie Kitchen wants to win this game. And I think that on paper, the talent is overwhelmingly in our favor, and we get Denzel Ward back. Now, the reality is it's the NFL. We saw the Jets win today against, the 9-4 at that time Rams, who a lot of people were picking as a potential Super Bowl contender. Yeah. You lose to an 0-13 team, I don't care what, you ain't contended for nothing, dude. Like, if you make the playoffs, I mean, that you're almost like joke level if you lose at home to an 0. I mean, talk about a team who overlooked somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And as my dad was excited because it's like now they don't have to have that fear of being a winless team to fight for their life against us. They can go back to being awful and securing their Trevor Lawrence pick. Right. So I think the point is today, it's a must-win game for us. It has now become a must-win game again because the other teams are winning and we lost last week. So it's now we're back on our heels a little bit. So we have to win the game. We got to beat Colt McCoy. We got to beat Freddie Kitchens. Side quest drama, in the game. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be another late night. Probably get last Monday I was up till 2 a.m. fighting with people on Twitter, and tonight. I'm gonna be up, rearing. I got the G Fuel, and possibly it won't be. It might be Monday though. If we're still going the post game show past midnight, we'll be able to drink out of the Monday cup.
Absolutely.
First thing in the have that. It's like Christmas Eve, right? When it turns midnight and you're up and you're like it's Christmas. We made it. We made it. It's here. We just got to go to sleep and wake up. That's kind of how it's going to be tonight for me in my Victory Monday mug. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to jinx it, but I do feel less stressed now than I did the last few weeks. The Titans week was stressful. The Ravens week was stressful. The Giants, not as stressful, but still equally as exciting because we got flexed into the Sunday night game. So everybody's going to get to watch us again and feel what it's like to be a Browns fan.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Some of the keys that I want to watch for today, I'd really like us to come out hot. I'd like to see us drive down, score early, and just knock the rust off and say, hey, we're not down, we're not overlooking these guys. Establish the run early, execute on special teams. Parkey's got to have a bounce back game, and I'd like the defense to show up, and I'd like to see us run the ball effectively the entire game. You give me that, and then also, I mean, if sugar on top, have Baker have a good game where no turnovers. And honestly, I just want one game where there's no intentional grounding called on young Baker. I'd appreciate that. But those are my keys to the game. Defense playing well, running the ball, establishing. Penalties got to be low, not turning the ball over, and execute on special teams and we win. It's not that much to ask, right?
No,
Yeah, playing against Colt McCoy is different than playing against Lamar Jackson. The guys can be a little bit more risky. We can blitz a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to worry about him running 15, 20 yards, down the field like Jackson was doing to us. Just like every critical third down, he just made it work. And then he passed. He did pretty good passing against us too when he had to. But so Colt is no Lamar Jackson, but we'll see if he plays out of his what and has the game of his life. They certainly can beat us, and that's our challenge, is to make sure he doesn't have that type of game.
Absolutely. Mike, what are your thoughts?
no, I agree with everything you guys said. I think that having Ward back now pushes Kevin Johnson into the slot. I'm interested to see how Redwine does, but with that being said, I think that Colt McCoy is not going to scare you with his legs. So I think that having Ward back there again, I think we're going to see the guys pin their ears back a little bit more, and Woods maybe dialing up a bunch of blitzes against McCoy. And if this offense plays the way that it has been playing, and they haven't given me a reason to think that they won't just from the whistle play the way they have played. I think this is a runaway game. In my opinion, 38-10, I think I said on the Wednesday show, but I really believe that, if this offense is clicking the way they've been clicking, I mean, I just don't see Colt McCoy and Wayne Gallman and, Evan Ingram's banged up. So I don't even know if he's I know I haven't checked the injury report. I'm assuming he's active, but I know he's banged up. And, I don't know. I just don't think the Giants have the firepower. Their defense is solid, but I think that the Baker and the boys should be able to, put at least 35, 38 points on them.
I mean, we played against tough defense. I think the Ravens had a good defense. We put up, 40 plus. The Titans had a good defense. We annihilated them. So the Colts had a good defense. We took them down. So I think that defenses, although, defenses, as they say, win championships, and that's always a great thing. But I think this offense has got so much power and can hit you from so many directions. And then at the end of the game, when we can put in and swap in Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt just to give each other a breather on those final couple drives, drop a little screen pass to them, and just run, with Janovich right over each other with ISO plays. I mean, it's very tough to beat. Looking at the Giants injury report, Daniel Jones questionable. It looks like he's probably going to suit up. Zeitler is questionable, limited practice. Darnay Holmes is out. He's one of their corners. And they got two tight ends, Caden Smith and Evan Ingram, who are questionable. So they're relatively healthy, the Giants, other than, obviously the big one missing is Saquon. Not having him has been really the difference maker. They bet their whole franchise on drafting him. Mike, as you talked about how dumb of a draft pick that was, but the reality is they're down their best player. We've been there many times. They definitely cannot match up with us talent-wise. Neither can the other New York team, the Jets. So we have to go out and execute and not overlook them. And I don't think Stefanski is a guy, as we just were kind of talking about. I don't think he's a guy who is going to allow them to overlook them, which I who knows? Maybe there's something that goes into it. The Mac Wilson, benching situation. Maybe there was something. Maybe it was a message he was sending. Maybe he didn't like some of the attention that he was doing. Maybe he did, I mean, who knows? But Kevin Stefanski seems like a guy who wants to win and wants to win now, and is just not going to rest on his laurels and just say, "Hey, we're going in to play a mediocre team, so we can play down to a mediocre team." I expect a good game tonight.
Yeah, I think the big difference between these two teams is we can score from the beginning to the end, and we can build up big leads. And the Giants, if they get behind and we have a big lead at half, like 21-0 or 17-0 or whatever, they're not, especially if Colt McCoy is their quarterback and he's not doing all that well, and we have a lead. I don't think they're the type of team like Baltimore or the Titans or Kansas City or any of those teams that have quarterbacks that will give them 21 points in the fourth quarter, big comebacks, that type of thing. So they have to be, if they're going to win this game, they have to get up to an early lead. They have to take advantage of turnovers. They have to have a close game. I don't think they're going to blow us out by any means. But if they get behind, they don't have the horses that can bring them from behind if we get too far out in front.
Yeah, and Colt McCoy too. I mean, Colt McCoy's not going to be. He's not a Peyton Manning or Lamar Jackson for that matter.
Right.
He's a somewhat. I mean, he's a respectable backup quarterback, but he's somewhat of a pedestrian type guy. And I think that Myles Garrett and those guys are going to be able to, on those passing plays, those third and longs, are just going to tee off. So, and I think that the Giants, if they're smart, they know that they're probably going to dial up some screen plays like that, quick passes, get the ball out of his hand, and see what he can do. I do think that we're gonna win this game. I think we're gonna score a lot of points in this game as well. And if it's close, I'll be disappointed, to be honest. I think the spread is probably right at 6.5 or whatever it is.
Right.
So, big shout out to Jonathan Schlegel's here in the chat. He's in here, Schlegel Law. You guys, we talked about that a little bit earlier, but any of your legal needs in the greater Columbus area, contact Schlegel Law. His logo's right there. All right, guys, we're getting real close. We're down to about 20 minutes till showtime. So let's do Sabo apparel giveaway.
Hey, did you notice what I was wearing? It came in, and unfortunately we lost, so I switched it up a little bit.
Which one is it? Orange? I can't see the number.
It's the Orange Baker.
It's the Orange Baker. Okay.
With the 100-year logo.
I love it. Okay, I'm putting it in the chat right now. Sabo apparel right now. Give me 1 to 100. I have my number is in. It's in. My hands are off the keyboard. So if you're looking to win a item from Sabo apparel, give me a 1 to 100. You can only enter one number. So if you're new, don't spam it with a lot because you'll automatically be disqualified. Whoever gets closest to it without going over. And also the people on Twitch, you are definitely eligible. So pretty soon I should just do like a Twitch only. That'll really piss everyone off. For the 6 people on Twitch get to see it, where like 120 on YouTube are like, whoa, what's up with those?
Look at all those numbers.
Yeah, they're flying in. So yeah, so let's get it on. I have everybody's score as well in a document. So if anybody hits the nail on the head in the score, you win an authentic Browns jersey. Man, I was really pissed off last week. So I did a Browns jersey giveaway, and I think I did it on Twitter or something like that to try to get people to come over to Twitch. Yeah. And it worked. We got some people coming over on Twitch, but the Browns jersey was like $21 on sale. And then as soon as I went to buy it, the very next day when the contest was over, it went up to $35. And I'm like, so I went from spending about $26 with shipping and handling and everything to like $50, which is just hilarious. But But yeah, and then also, guys, the Wednesday show coming up. We got me and Mike and my dad's popped in a couple times there. The Wednesday show every Wednesday at 7 p.m. So if you're not a subscriber on Twitch or on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and the notification so when we go live, you guys can be aware. We do giveaways basically every show. The Wednesday show is especially popular because we do the Victory Monday mug giveaway on the Wednesday show, which was obviously inspired by Mike's love of coffee and also being the guy who essentially created the Browns victory mug fad that you're seeing there online. So we like to give away that. We like to give away those Victory Monday mugs. So think of us as a giveaway channel. We're giving back to you. All you have to do is click a button and you're helping us. So it's a win-win. And if you haven't clicked a like button yet, click like on top of that as these numbers keep coming in. We just want to give stuff away. You know, look at us. That's all we want to do. We ask for a button push. It's not hard. All right, guys. All right, so let's go. I'm gonna have a countdown here.
Video, Mike?
I'm sorry?
Does Michael know about your video?
Oh yeah, he's seen it. He's retweeted.
Oh yeah.
Whenever I have a video, I pretty much send it to Mike. Oftentimes before anybody else. I just send it to Mike and be like, "Is this good?" He's like, "Oh yeah, it's good." I'm like, "All right, cool." And then I send it out. And then it goes. Yeah, because I know, like, I send it. There's only a couple people that I know will get it, and like usually Mike's one of those who will get the emotion I'm drawing out and be like, "Okay, it's good." He gives me the Restano seal of approval, and then it goes live. All right, putting my number in now. It was 51. And let's see who got closest. I see what you did there.
I see what you did there.
Let's see who got closest. We have a 43, 52 from S. Zupon.
You said not go over?
No, it's just closest. It's close. S. Zupon wins. Congratulations, S. And I think Zupon's won in the past. But S. Zupon, send me an email just as a reminder because these things go crazy. BrowniePostgame@gmail. Winner is S. If I can type that in correctly. There you go. Winner is S. Zupon. Pick out an item from saboapparel.com. Give me your address, name, and item and size. But if you're confused about any of that, just send me an email to browniepostgame.com. Say, I won the Sabo Apparel, and I will remember, and we're good to go. S. Zupon, congratulations. I think he's a back-to-back week winner. Or very close to it, because I think he just won recently.
He actually just said in the chat, pick someone else, Mike. I just won a shirt last week.
I can't, well.
Who was closest?
All right. That's fair. If he wants to, I was going to say no, but okay. Okay. All right. Browns fan 77 out of 45.
245s.
Yeah, 245s.
345s. Jake the Snake and Gary Washington out of 45. We have a 57 from Typical Gamer. That's 6. That's he's in. All right. All right. So
are we gonna have a 3-way tiebreaker? Like, are we up the regular tiebreaker?
Yeah. We got to go to 3-way tiebreaker. Damn it, Zupon! Why couldn't you just take your prize and go on your merry way? You got to make me work harder for this. Jake the Snake, Gary Washington, and Typical Gamer. Gary, Jake, and Typical. 1 to 100 now. Go ahead, type it in. Whoever's closest to my number is going to win.
And you're taking it.
My number is in. My number is in. Hands are off the keyboard. As soon as I see those 3 numbers, we will pick the winner. I wasn't paying attention and miss it. Guts. Yeah, guys. I haven't eaten dinner. We've been live for what? God, we've been live for
117 minutes.
Yeah, coming up on 2 hours here. So I haven't eaten anything. I haven't gone to the bathroom. We got nothing going on. Oh my gosh.
We haven't gotten the number yet.
I know. Gary Washington, Jake the Snake, and Typical Gamer, type in a number. It's going to be like whoever types it in first is going to win.
There's Jake the Snake.
All right, Jake's in. So we need Typical.
Be gone.
I'd be surprised if they're gone already.
I think they might be.
We'll give them a second. Want me to order you a pizza? No.
Cue the Jeopardy music.
So we're all right. Well, we'll give it another second here. Now everybody else is coming in with their numbers now. So
Chaos now.
Zupon,
It's absolute chaos.
Zupon, you're killing me, dude. Like, I appreciate the sentiment, and somebody else is gonna win something. That's awesome, but I gotta find a better way to do this. There are some plugins that I could use for it that I'm gonna have to learn.
Do trivia like I do with the cards. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to do that.
Knowledge. If you got Brown's knowledge.
Are we doing it going once, going twice, sold to Jake the Snake Watson?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a second. I'm gonna give it
Jake wins.
10 seconds. If Gary and Typical don't put in a number, it goes to Jake. You have 10 seconds. Go. So yeah, guys, anybody else hit that like button, and also go check out the new Brownie post game video that I put up on Twitter, and then check out Bear Kincaid. Bear Kincaid has our intro music and the cool new Browns holiday song that's out there, and we got there's even another one, Feeling Dangerous. So if you go check out his stuff on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube, all the places where you get music, right? He's a really nice guy, and he's got some cool Brown stuff. Okay, do we see anybody else? Did he come in?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
So Jake the Snake wins.
All right.
Jake,
Woo-hoo.
you're the winner. Jake, so send me a email to browniepostgame@gmail.com. It's very simple. browniepostgame@gmail.com. Try to make it as easy as possible for everybody. Go over to Sabo Apparel, pick out an item. I need your size. I need your name. I need your address, so we can send that out to you. And they're really good about it, so they'll send it out like tomorrow. Yep, so do it. So congratulations, Jake the Snake. browniepostgame@gmail.com, browniepostgame@gmail.com, browniepostgame@gmail.com. Go for it, dude. All right, guys. We got to run because we got a game to watch here. We will be live for the post game show as soon as the game over. I think I have it scheduled for like 11:15, but don't worry, just be in chat. We'll be here. We're going to do the homage giveaway. We got some other cool stuff. I think my dad's got some football cards we want to give away or two or something like that. Max Nikolenko sent me an email that he wants to do some giveaway stuff. So there could be some crazy stuff going on. Hopefully we win. Go Browns. We will see you.
Go Brownies.
We'll see you in the post game.
All right.
Browns.
Go Browns.
See you, Michael.
See you, Dan.